Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It is Thursday, the 15th of February, and we all know that Meghan Markle's podcast, Archetypes, I never know how to say that, absolutely bombed. It really, really did, despite her bio on her their new spangled website saying differently. There's a reason why Spotify dropped it, quite frankly. And sources close to Spotify have said that the royal couple did not meet the productivity benchmark required to receive the full headline payout from the deal. Having only produced one 12-episode series, the Wall Street Journal reported, "I wish I had been involved in the Meghan and Harry leave Spotify negotiation." Now, this is the infamous Spotify head of podcast innovation and monetization labelled Prince Harry and Meghan as effing grifters, which quite frankly is iconic. So thank you very much, Bill Simmons. Now, we all thought that might be the last we heard of Archetypes, but sadly, can we hear the boos? She's got another deal, but it's a weird one. At the time, it said that she will find a new platform, but this is a platform that nobody else has heard of. It's a company called Lemonade Media, and their motto is "Make Life Suck Less." Now, according to news reports, the Duchess of Sussex, i.e. Meghan Markle, who we all know who she is, has signed a new podcast deal with a female-founded company that wants to make life suck less. The Duchess, who produced one series of a podcast, Archetypes, for Spotify before parting ways, fucking grifters, with a company, has signed with Lemonade Media to develop and host a new series. Here's what Meghan had to say on the matter. Notice my monotone voice, because oh God. The Duchess said she was overjoyed to be joining the family at Lemonade, which describes itself as an award-winning independent audio-first podcast network with a mission to make life suck less. I'm proud to now be able to share that I am joining the brilliant team at Lemonade to continue my love of podcasting. Being able to support a female-founded company with a roster of thought-provoking and highly entertaining podcasts is a fantastic way to kick off 2024. I'll plan to re-release Archetypes so that more people can now have access to it. Yeah, because people didn't have access to it. That was the problem, wasn't it? People didn't have access to it. Bloody everywhere. As well as launching a dynamic new podcast. Well in the works. Well, I do hope Lemonade has more success on productivity, because Spotify have already said they didn't reach the benchmark. What's the point of re-releasing those 12 episodes that didn't hardly make a ripple, despite what her biography says? Anyway, I'm so eager to be able to share it soon, and I'm overjoyed to be joining the Lemonade family. Apparently, Lemonade Media's best-known podcast to date is Wiser Than Me by Julia Louis-Dufresne. Anybody heard of it? Anybody? I haven't. With more than 50 other audio shows spanning topics from aging to parenting in crisis, being trans and having good sex. This is what CEO Jessica Cordova-Kramer said. "We are beyond honoured that Meghan has trusted us to help democratise to Archetypes. And that so many people around the world will have access to the series soon." Again, so many people did have access. In fact, anybody can have access to Spotify, irrelevant of whether you pay or not. It just means you listen to adverts. Anyway, Jessica continues, "Meghan's talent as host, creator and conversationalist is unparalleled, and we are thrilled to co-create a new series with her that fosters her approach to creating art that matters." Art? Then Chief Creative Officer Sophie Whittle-Watch said, "As we've started development with the Duchess of Sussex, we've been blown away by her collaborative spirit and clear vision, along with her deep desire to build compassion and community throughout this work. The Lemonade team felt immediate kinship with Meghan and Archwell production team, and we are delighted to be working together." Right, okay. So I looked through Twitter, or X as it's now known, at the comments, and this one stood out. It's Blair Legend of Aviation. It's like an outlet mall for podcast. You can buy irregular clothing at a discount Discount Spotify. Yes! That's a perfect comment, isn't it? I tell you what, leave the most famous streaming podcast and music industry giant to this tiny little speck that nobody's heard from, because that'll do your podcast really good, won't it? It's like the bargain bucket of podcasts. To be fair, Blair, Legends of Aviation, you've been on a roll with regards to this, because I'm going to show you another one of your tweets. Lemonada and Markle are trending in the US. This is why they hired her. Free advertising and publicity. One giant has 14.3 million followers on X. The other one has 10,000 followers on X. Yeah, brilliant comparison, isn't it? I suggest that these are the next in line to be Markled. I would suggest that any female employee of Lemonada get in touch with the Sussex Survivors Club. They may be able to give you some pointers. What makes me laugh is that this is being touted like the deal of the century. No, she literally got chucked out of Spotify. They ended their deal because of low productivity. And this is like touted as, oh my God, she signed with Lemonada. Who the hell are they? Has anybody heard of any podcast they do? Oh, I know. Maybe Harry can do a special because he put it to Spotify that he wanted to interview Putin, Mark Zuckerberg, and I believe Donald Trump and talk about their childhoods. Yay, that's a winner, isn't it? All the while juggling outside a window. Word to the wise, Lemonada. Honestly, Spotify couldn't make it work, despite basically investing 20 million into her and having 13 producers. And even the people are starting to speak out and say that she didn't actually interview anybody. They did it and she just recorded over them. That's the level of talent that you have just hired. By all means, celebrate it, but we know, given the time, you are going to be Markled and you are going to reap what you sow. Let's look at Spotify's most prominent podcast, shall we? Joe Rogan. He's just signed a couple of weeks ago a new 250 million partnership deal with Spotify. That's your competition. That's who Meghan should be, but she can't do it. She can't hack it. She leaves a trail of destruction in her wake. She really, really does. And I'm sorry to be brutal, but this is just hilarious to me that she's gone from this huge global network, Spotify, down to this unheard of tiny little media company. What exactly does she have to offer in anything other than going over old ground? There's nothing innovative about her whatsoever. Now, there's a fabulous account on Twitter/X called CBCB. She's fantastic. She's found a very interesting link and she's put, how interesting. Lemonada Book Club powered by Penguin Random House. Who is Penguin Random House? Well, it's only the people that publish Spare, isn't it? WME working their way again. I mean, fair play to Lemonada. Everybody's now talking about it because of their relationship with Meghan Markle. But unfortunately, it's not in the way that they want, because everybody is saying one thing. You're gonna get Markled. Oh, I wish I was in a meeting with Spotify right now where they were all having a good laugh. Literally dusting their hands off. Thank God we've got rid. So what do you all think? Do you think this is going to go down the pan? Or do you actually think that Archwell was a really good podcast? Did you listen to it? Did it enthrall you? Did it inspire? Does she have amazing talent when it comes to podcasting? Or do you just think, oh God, here we go again, but on generally a smaller scale? As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.